Colorado has their spring game yesterday. This was like one of those bar or restaurant double take specials. And if you've ever experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Let's say you're over at a restaurant of your choice. You go to the bathroom, you're coming out of the bathroom, the TVs are on, but they're on mute, so all you can do is glance over and see what's on the TV. And all of a sudden you glance over, and they're doing like a panorama shot of Boulder, Colorado, and it's sold out. They've got 47,000 plus in there amidst the snow and the cold, and it's the middle of April. That's enough to warrant a double take. I know, because this happened to me yesterday. I couldn't watch it live. I had to watch the replay. And yes, here we are. We're in a world where I make it a point to go watch replays of the Colorado spring game. What a spectacle this was. What a spectacle. So Deion Sanders accomplished everything he wanted to do with that. Couldn't control the weather. And that's about the only thing that didn't go right yesterday, because everything else went right. How about the kickoff, by the way? Kickoff was great, as was the hat that Deion Sanders wore. So Deion had a couple of quotes afterwards, and one of them he kept going back to. And I think he said it in the broadcast maybe. I don't know if they interviewed him, because I watched the cut-ups of the snaps of the game. But he said, I saw good things from guys I expected to see good things from. And he said a version of that like 2 or 3 times. And basically what that was, what that was translated to was, yeah, the guys I brought here played pretty well. The guys who I was saddled with were uninspiring, and you won't see them much longer. Which goes back to this conversation that we had when he got there, and we've had it another couple of times since then, and we're going to have it in very short time. We're going to have it again, because there is a lot of roster movement that's about to happen out there, and it is the new world of college football. And I sat here when you guys wanted to inject NIL and wanted to inject the portal, and you waved the banner of the players' rights era, and I sat here and I said, all right, sounds good with me. Just to understand what you're getting into. And no one ever asked, what do you mean by that? Well, this is what I mean. If you're going down that road, I'm fine with it. I have offered no resistance, but you got to understand, you're not a boy. When you're playing in that world, you're not a boy. You're not a student athlete anymore. You're a grown man, and you're going to, for lack of a better term, be treated as an employee would. And so you get all that freedom of choice, and therefore so does your employer. Now, I know we're not supposed to be using that word, but why not? It's coming down the road pretty imminently anyway. And so you want the freedom to move around. You want to say things like, well, coaches move all the time. Why can't players? They can. Coaches get fired too when they don't do a good enough job. Coaches get axed. So you want to live in the world coaches live in. You want to make money. You want to profit off your NIL. That's cool. That's fine. It's not all ice cream. There is some downside. There's some flip side to this coin you got to deal with. And some kids on that Colorado roster are about to find out, and some of them already have. So that was one thing that stood out to me. The other thing that is always fascinating, and with Colorado it's been this way all spring, is the needle mover effect. This happens in pop culture. It happens in politics. It happens in sports. It is just always mind-blowing to me, because I get to see some of the numbers, that there are people out there who the mere mention of their name stops traffic. There are people out there who their mere showing up to an event stops traffic. And the mere mention of them in a headline or in an article, it's like a magnet to the eyes or the ears. Everybody stops, even if you don't like them. They have that effect on you for some reason. And there are very few of them out there, but there are some. Like, Bradley, you probably know that Zendaya performed at Coachella last night. It's a big deal. She's a needle mover. And I've long said Deion Sanders is college football's Zendaya, and he's proven me right at every turn. There were people watching the Colorado spring game yesterday who up until 5 minutes ago probably couldn't even tell you what city the University of Colorado is in. You certainly couldn't tell me the name of that stadium until yesterday. You probably had no clue what capacity was. Half of you were surprised it snows there in April. And yet there the eyes of the college football world were. Spring game at Colorado. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the science is behind it. I just know there are there are a few needle movers in college football, and it's not just winning that accomplishes it. There's this extra layer of persona. There's these characteristics that you have. There's personality, and there aren't many of them. Like Saban's obviously one. Kirby's. Let me give you an example. Kirby Smart's not one of those yet. And Kirby, you could make the argument he's number one in the sport right now. But I'm not talking about the guy who's winning at the highest level. I'm talking about the needle mover. It takes a little while to get that. Dabo is that. Dabo Swinney's got that. Harbaugh's got it more than Ryan Day does in the Big Ten. So maybe we're talking about longevity mattering a little bit more here. Deion's got it because you've known his name forever. Deion's got it. Colorado has got it. There is no bigger needle mover in the Pac-12. And there may not be a bigger one in college football, but there certainly isn't one that far west of the Mississippi, I would say, as Deion Sanders. Their schedule this year is what it is. I've already spoken my piece on this. I was riding around my dad yesterday. He said, what's their over-under win total going to be? It's probably going to be juiced a little bit just because there are going to be some folks who take the over no matter what. So maybe like 3.5 is my guess. I don't know what it's going to be. I was never really good at guessing that stuff. Those numbers aren't out yet, but they went 1-11 last year. So like 3.5 or 4 or something like that. Their odds to win the Pac-12 championship, 9th out of 12. Here we go, year one for Deion Sanders. Could not have gone better yesterday, though. I mean, we also got to see some of the new guys. We got to see Shedeur Sanders touchdown to Travis Hunter. Deion saying Travis Hunter could be a top 5 draft pick. He could just pick either side of the ball. Is this yeah, look at that. Oh, look at the throw. So yeah, we got to see a little bit of everything yesterday. Snow stopped just in time. We got to see a little bit of everything. Colorado football, dare I say, must-watch TV one way or the other this year.